To pray, there's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now, as you can probably hear, my headset, I put a new piece on it. I actually did order this piece about a week ago, which I then forgot about. It is no big deal though. I did actually get another piece for my new microphone though. It's actually a windscreen that will go with it. So, let's begin. Whenever we last left off, Deku and, well, Mina, they just defused, along with the fact that they have met a new ally. I think. Or at least they think. Lapis Lazuli has emerged from her mirror. However, with Jasper in the bubble, inside the temple, how exactly will that affect things? Now, with that being said, let us pick up about a year and a half later, with things a bit more dodgy. This means that Midoriya, he is currently around 11 years old. Anyways, Midoriya, he is at least come to terms with a lot of things, and finds them to be a bit weird though. He's not unlocking any new abilities, that's at least good, right? But also, Garnet is at least around a bit more. So Ruby and Sapphire clearly have talked, along with a new hero making her debut. The pro hero, Bob. I'm just kidding. Lapis Lazuli. As she's announced by, well, today. Her actually flying in and using water to subdue a villain and then, well, sign autographs. Apparently, the crystal gems are getting more popular, and they're actually beginning to start to rival Endeavor. Then again, it is a hero group, comprised of some less popular heroes. This being seen as a way to rebrand themselves, because they were beginning to fall out of the spotlight. Just like that one other hero team that no one mentions. Anyways. Now. Deku and Mina, they would be talking, along with actually walking today as Baku would stop them, saying that he wants to fight. And Deku would at least humor Bakugo. As the two would fight, Deku would actually beat him using hand-to-hand combat, along with his shields. Bakugo getting annoyed and actually pissed off, shouting that Midoriya just keeps cheating. He keeps using those stupid quirks. Deku just saying, in fact, he doesn't. Besides, Bakugo, what is this, the 900th time you've challenged me? Do you even remember how many times? 186. And how many times have you lost? You shut up. Now, Deku would just tell Bakugo that they used to be friends. So how about this? You come train with us. We're going to the Crystal Gem's house. Bakugo at least looking at Deku. This isn't a trick. Deku doesn't do tricks. Unless he decides to just pull a shield out of nowhere. He still needs to work on the delivery for the rabbit. Anyways. Now, Midoriya would just offer this to Bakugo. Bakugo actually accepting. The two heading back to the Crystal Gem's house. The one on the beach. Deku getting off the phone with Hasashi saying that it should be all fine and, well, Pearl said that they can just train here today. She'll be out late dealing with something. Yeah. Whenever they do get back, this is whenever Bismuth would be here. Seeing Midoriya and actually talking with him. Saying that she's really glad he's here. In fact, she's actually working on a new armor piece and a new weapon. She's hoping that he might be able to try it. Or at least look at it. Along with Bakugo. Bakugo is not too sure about this, well, Bismuth, as he's heard about her. She has a elongation quirk and, well, a gem. Just like the other members. Is that all you have to do to really just get into this group? Have a gem? Does this chick have a gem then? As he would just stare at him. Well, stare at Mina. Her just asking what is he doing. Before Bakugo asked the stupidest question he could probably ever ask. Does he need a gem to join this whole, well, group or what? No. In fact, just because, well, most of. Mina's the only one without a gem, and so are you. That doesn't mean you're crystal gems. Or aren't? I don't. Midoriya is getting annoyed at the logistics, and immediately just walking over to the warp pad. Mina actually just taking a step over there. As Baku would just ask what they're doing. Deku just saying to come on. They're going to go train. How exactly we're going to do that? As it would warp away. And Baku would be a bit more, well, what the fuck? Because that was not really supposed to happen. But even then, whenever they do get to the Sky Arena, Baku would have been surprised, being outside in the open. Trying to ask the question as Bakugo would just watch these two run off. Trying to catch up to them, it would be said that they are going to explain this to him. But for right now, as Mina would just throw up her hands, telling Bakugo that they are going to fight. Bakugo just saying exactly what's her quirk. Her just saying acid. Bakugo just saying, fine. If they're going to fight, then, well, don't expect me to hold back. As Midoriya would just call Lion, or head back over to the warp pad, telling these two to wait. Bakugo confused until Midoriya would come back, leaving on the warp pad and arriving back with Lion, after roughly 20 minutes. Bakugo confused at, well, the Pink Lion's quirk, before being handed a bit of a weapon. 2 shock batons. Him tossing another pair over to Mina. Her just catching them and just bringing them up. Clicking them together. Telling Bakugo that this is going to be different. Their quirks don't matter in these battles. In fact, I only use mine whenever I need to. Or, well, whenever me and Midoriya. Deku is somewhat just telling her that that's a bit too much information for right now. Bakugo just asking when you guys what. Before Deku can just say that apparently, you know how my mom could. Do you remember Obsidian? The giant woman with the lava hair? Bakugo just confused for a second before just saying, oh yeah, whatever happened to that chick? She made like a one-time appearance, or, well, multiple appearances, but he's heard that she's been seen worldwide. Does she travel or something, or what of it? Isn't she a crystal gem? Yeah, she is, but she's a fusion. What? Like, what does that even mean? Okay, so take a spoon and a fork. Fuse those together and you get a spork. Now, along with that, you have, well, Pearl, my mom, Amethyst, and Garnet. They all make obsidian. However, as Midori would just hold out his hand, and just grabbing it as these two begin to swing around, a light forming around them and these two fusing. As Mizuku, they would just step out, saying that this happens. This is a fusion. Katsu go? Bakugo should be fine, right? Yeah, it's perfect actually. That last line happening in their head. Now, Bakugo is still wide-eyed at this, and a bit in shock, trying to figure this all out in his head. What the fuck has he just witnessed? Anyways, Bakugo's still trying to figure that out himself. However, this would be whenever these two just defuse, and the match would begin. Bakugo trying to fight through his clouded judgment, fighting with Mina. The two actually going back and forth with shock batons. And, well, most of the day they'd be training. Pearl arriving and actually overseeing it properly, along with telling Bakugo the proper ways to move around and actually perform. Along with Bakugo sticking around to work out with Midoriya. And, well, Mina. Apparently, one way Midoriya's been learning is through a bit of dance. And I'm finding this a bit funny at first before Midoriya will begin to move around. Him actually noticing a bit of Midoriya's form. The way he's moving around clearly shows that he's used it in combat. The moves at least look similar. As Bakugo would just try and, well, do what Midoriya's doing. This being a bit weird. He didn't know that the person who's stronger than him basically does ballet and combat training. It's a bit of an odd mix. However, as Pearl would always suggest, or at least say, it allows the young mind and body to become more flexible. In fact, it's most of the ways that she can move. Now, this is whenever more time would pass by, and eventually, Garnet would have arrived. The two unfusing. Bakugo kinda shocked by that. That theory was true online. Noted. Now, this is whenever they would all be talking. Ruby and Sapphire talking more and more, until one idea does get brought up. Now, this idea was actually brought up by Ruby, along with a talk she's had before, trying to figure out how to separate themselves from Pink Diamond's influence, and how to make Garnet different. As Ruby would have gotten down on one knee and proposed to Sapphire. Sapphire actually a bit more surprised, and, well, just saying yes immediately. Before the two fuse by accident, and eventually just defuse. The two actually being told that they are going to be announcing a wedding very soon. And this is going to be more difficult. This being where the two would actually begin to plan it out. The next few weeks would go by, and Bakugo would be learning more about the crystal gems. Eventually, that little tidbit about them being from space would slip out. And Midoriya would try to explain himself, along with more things. The Beta Kindergarten, Homeworlds, and possible life out in the stars. Before it does get into a bit more of a snake people style topic. Or Sneeple, as I believe they're called. It's been a while, actually. Now, With that being said, this is where eventually the wedding would be held. Bismuth forging the rings, and Pearl inviting the guest. A lot of people and heroes are surprised to hear about a wedding, especially whenever it's apparently the two components that make up someone they've worked with and know for years in the hero department or the hero culture. This actually being where this is where Ruby and Sapphire begin to exchange their vows and actually talk more. Well, actually a lot longer than they thought. The ceremony was probably supposed to only be about an hour or two, then the dance and part of an after party. However, the two just keep talking. The two going on for eventually 20 minutes, and exchanging the rings, as they would have fused. One thing interrupting the party. A giant ship would come down, and Midori would just look up to see it, being a bit more surprised to find a robot, or hands in a robot? That's odd. Now, with that happening, this is whenever the diamonds would arrive. White Diamond actually stepping out. The rest of the gems are in shock as the heroes are trying to figure out what to do, standing guard, as mountains upon mountains of soldiers would flood up behind her. White Diamond announcing that she is here for the rebel leader. Or, well, I do believe there is no point in hiding anymore. Come out, Pink. I know you're here. This being where White Diamond would order them to find Rose Quartz, and to take her alive. As Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond walk up behind her. This being where they would all say that this does not make sense. Pink was shattered ages ago. I don't understand why you want to take Rose Quartz alive. She has everything to do with Pink shattering. And it does not, well, as Yellow Diamond would cut her off, saying that it really doesn't make sense. Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz cannot be the same person. What does that even, mean for their empire? If Pink wanted to get away from them for a while, why would she fake a war? That's not really a good tactic. Besides, why are you intervening now? As White Diamond would just say, that the only reason she is intervening is because Pink wasn't supposed to be able to fuse. She could handle her little rebellion and other things, but fusing with lower cut of gem. A pearl, a sapphire, a ruby, and as the report described, an imperfect amethyst. I draw the line there. However, the native species, that is something I do not tolerate. Cross-gem fusion is disgusting. However, mixed species fusion is revolting. As White Diamond would just continue on her little tangent, the heroes actually taking up arms against these gem soldiers. Not really sure what to do. A lot of these heroes don't have very strength quirks, and All Might was sadly not able to attend the wedding. He did at least leave one hell of a wedding present, though. Now, this is whenever Deku would just, somewhat charge forwards, being able to take down a gem before just announcing that why are they even here? They still need to deal with the cluster. Not even that. They didn't expect homos to come knocking on their doorstep. As Lapis Lazuli would just run out. She would just throw up her hands and immediately begin to manipulate the water, being able to wrap chains around the diamonds. One thing happening. Lapis Lazuli being attacked from behind with a, what was it called? Gem Destabilizer. Deku actually watching as she cracks apart, her body becoming more glass-like, and her physical form basically shattering to the ground, before she does poof. Deku actually going on the offensive, and beginning to use his sword, along with Bismuth. Deku actually throwing himself forwards and launching himself into the air, making the bubble as he creates spikes on it, smashing directly into Yellow Diamond, as a lion would have been able to open portals, beginning to let out large roars around the area. A lot of heroes actually taking notice of this. The crystal gems are fighting back, along with Garnet telling the heroes to aim for everywhere except where they see one of those gems. They will not kill them, but it will take time for them to get back up. The heroes being able to actually take them down. You have someone like Edgeshot, Maruku. There's a lot of heroes here. Everyone underneath the number 4 spot, and, well, number 3 spot, would be here, except for All Might and Endeavor, along with some local heroes who are able to at least, well, hear about the invitations, and manage to get invited themselves, since it really wasn't a private event, it was just happening on a beach. As more things would begin happening, Deku actually being able to beat into and begin to lay into the diamonds. All the crystal gems are, along with the forces on Earth. Quite a lot of things are happening. Before one thing does happen that Deku is in shock by. This is whenever White Diamond's eyes would begin to glow white, and she would send out a large blast, directing it straight at Pink Diamond. Before one thing does happen, Garnet would just run in and push him directly out of the way, as her gems get bleached white, and it leaves a lasting impression on her, where she would just look up and have that creepy smile. Hello, Starlight. Well, a fusion. Quite interesting. Deku's eyes widening as he's not really sure what to do. Looking back towards the battle, all the heroes, they're being taken down, dismantled. As he does actually look back towards the crystal gems. Lapis was already poofed. Bismuth is being overrun. Mina, she's, well, with Lion. Where's Pearl? Deku just looking around. Pearl's getting Hasashi away from the beach, telling him to run as far as he can. And if he can, go find more heroes. This being something Hasashi would have done without hesitation, although he still is a bit curious to why, whenever any other hero could be faster than him. At least taking off very, very fast. Now, this is whenever she would have gotten back to the battle and find what happened to Garnet. This being very horrifying. Amethyst actually being taken down by a gem destabilizer, along with them trying to use one on Midoriya. The gem that does so would have been a surprise when Midoriya does actually grab onto it, and snap it into pieces, before stabbing it directly into the gem, and the gem poofing, throwing another one and actually cutting another gem in half, as much as he can before it is poof, before taking a deep breath and blasting fire around himself. This actually surprising the diamonds. Pink can't blast fire. Wow, interesting. as the diamonds begin to just overwhelm them. One thing happening that Midoriya didn't really expect. Him being completely surrounded by soldiers and basically dogpiled. As soon as he gets dogpiled, he would have made a giant bubble and just sent it blasting outwards, sending all the gems around him flying. And just look up at the diamonds, more pissed off. He's not sure what they just did to his friends, but after what he saw happen to Lapis and what's happening with Garnet, it is not good. Garnet actually rushing in, an emotionless smile, forming the gem weapons and actually beginning to collide fists with Midoriya. Midoriya trying to hold her off, and fight with her. This was supposed to be her special day, Ruby and Sapphire's special day, but an invasion? Not just that, the cluster. What are we going to do about that? Now, Midoriya just looks back at him, back at everyone, and thinks, if the heroes can find a way to deal with the cluster, then that would be perfect. But it seems like they're going to be just after us. As him and Garnet begin to collide punches, people actually watching this young boy hold off against the strongest member of the Crystal Gems, the leader. As Garnet would have sent him flying with another punch, actually hitting him across the face and sending him flying towards his house. Him slowing down his descent before Garnet comes running in and actually just send another uppercut, before one directly into his stomach. Being careful as to not hit the gem. If they hit Pink's gem, she might actually get shattered this time. And it won't be pretend. As Garnet would just begin to beat into and lay Midoriya out across the battlefield. Lion trying to defend Midoriya, but, well, being thrown away in the process. Hitting him and sending him flying. Now, with that being said, Deku, he can't really see out of one of his eyes. He's pretty sure it's swollen. As the Garnet would do one thing with an emotional smile. Bring up her gauntlet and punch Midoriya across the face, knocking him out. Now, I do believe that that is a good part to leave that off of, guys. Or a good, well, not a good note, but a bad one, but a good place to leave that off of. Anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.